Let's bring in now Maria Mezentsiva, a member of the Ukrainian parliament and the chairwoman of Ukraine's delegation to the Council of Europe, joining us live from Davos. Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. I want you to first talk to us about how you received this news and what kind of shockwaves that it ended up sending throughout Ukraine.
Well, I will tell you what really happened in the morning. We arrived to participate in the panel of discussion for the different crimes and responsibility for Russia, which it is conducting in various ways in Ukraine. And yet another terrible news hit us on the different information news channels coming from Ukraine. I personally firstly thought it is some fake news, but unfortunately the outlines that you were giving about the 6 persons being killed, including 3 children, out of which the team of the Ministry of Interior, Minister himself and his deputy, who I knew both. Minister Denis Monastyrsky was my colleague in the parliament, was my good friend with whom we've implemented numerous laws targeting European integration standards, international norms on preventing different, for instance, drug-taking facilities, or preventing even other particular crimes. The recent ones we voted in the European Committee, which Mr. Monastyrsky was leading. He was very kind-hearted, very active person, 24/7 available for his colleagues, for Ukrainian citizens, and for his team. Up until right now, looking at these footages of the burned parts of the helicopter of the French production, I can still, as well as my colleagues who are being still with me here in Davos, we cannot believe this has actually happened. We are calling, of course, for all the efforts by our government, our services, which will be investigating this tragedy of the 3 different versions that you have rightly outlined. Mr. Monastyrsky and members of his team were very close also to President Zelensky, so it's a personal tragedy for many. He has proven to be a very effective minister, serving for the last 1.5 years as a minister, previously chairing very important committee on legal enforcement, as being very close counterparts to President Zelensky himself from the very beginning of the campaign for him to become the president. It's a big loss because the Ministry of Interior has been conducting very effective work in various regions of Ukraine, dealing with war crimes, dealing with daily requests of Ukrainian citizens. I can personally say that I think we will be recovering from this in many months ahead. And I have received the information from the current chairman of the Committee of Legal Enforcement that in the next committee meeting, there will be candidates viewed for this position to be approved and voted by Ukrainian parliament shortly. Meanwhile, at the footages, you can see how intensively all the emergency services are operating on the ground to find the truth and the reason for this tragedy to be happening. And here in Davos and every panel, our international friends, partners are completely shocked with what has happened.
Well, you're at Davos, you're at that economic forum. Talk to us about how the conference you're at right now can help the Ukrainians. Are you seeing any efforts? What type of things are being discussed there to push the Ukrainian cause?
Definitely, we're talking about the war crimes and the paramount crime which has led to this war crime. It is the crime of aggression. Just now at the panel, we have discussed with different international lawyers and former members of the International Criminal Court how, in a different, new manner, we can address the crime of aggression committed by Russia already twice first in 2014 and then in 2022 against Ukraine. And the answer is a special tribunal for the crime of aggression, which has been supported in different international organizations, including the Council of Europe, will be voted shortly as a new resolution in the UN General Assembly. We hope Israel can support us and many other states of the global south, for instance, South America, African countries, because according to United Nations, it's not only Ukraine, it's 1.7 billion people in 94 countries who suffered in different manners this aggression. It can be food security, energy security, the rise of the prices of living, different economic crises and financial crises, which is our world is facing today. So Economic Forum, for the second time already, doesn't have Russian business representatives, Russian politicians. I would like to remind everyone who's watching us right now, last summit held in May in Davos, was the Russian house turned into war, into Russian house of the war crimes. Now is continuing with the top agenda of Ukraine being supported by many. We have to stand strong and to keep going with evidences of different crimes which Russia has conducted against all of us, against all humanity and international community, which I think is being conducted successfully.
Maria Mezentseva, a member of the Ukrainian parliament and chairwoman of Ukraine's delegation to the Council of Europe, joining us live this afternoon from Davos on the devastating news out of Ukraine this morning. Thank you.